Hello, and thank you for tuning into this episode of Animals and Ames. My name is Ron Edwards. I'm the Animal Control Supervisor here for the Ames Animal Shelter and Animal Control Program. Today our guest host is going to be Kathy Pike. She was, of course, the host on the last episode of Animals and Ames, and very happy that she agreed to do another show today to show you our furry friends that are available for adoption at the Ames Animal Shelter. So let's talk to Kathy and meet some of our furry friends.
I'm Kathy Pike. I'm a full-time animal control officer here for the City of Ames Animal Shelter and Animal Control. My first guest today here is Nina. Nina is a 4-year-old female guinea pig. As you see, she loves her vegetables. Guinea pigs really love to eat vegetables and should have them on the daily. So what we do is we give them parsley, cilantro, romaine here. She's got most of the leaf of romaine gone already. Obviously, you can see she really likes them. It's really good for guinea pigs. We also give them some of the sweet bell peppers to cut them up, take the seeds out. They love those as well, along with hay. And then there is a pellet diet that she's offered as well in the enclosure. Guinea pigs are pretty easy to take care of. They do have some specialized care, like having fresh vegetables to eat daily and hay, and making sure that their enclosure is clean. Nina here came as a surrender after she lost her buddy, another female. So we are looking for an application for adoption that would have another female guinea pig. If we're not able to find that, we are looking with our shelter partners to see if they have any female guinea pigs that do need a buddy. It is very important that they are not solitary, that they do have other guinea pigs to live with. There's actually countries that have it banned and consider it inhumane to have guinea pigs live alone. So we want to make sure that we can find her another buddy, whether it be in that new home or finding a shelter partner here shortly that would have another female that needs a friend too. They're very cute, cuddly. They're pretty easy. You can hand feed them. She was eating the romaine right out of my hand. They can be a little skittish at first when you pick them up. They are a prey animal, so having something larger than them coming down at them in the enclosure can be a bit scary. But once you have a hold of them, usually they're pretty nice and sweet. They're less likely prone to nipping, although they can because they have teeth. Nina here is obviously pretty handleable, very sweet, loves her food, and pretty easy to take care of. Not too bad for a pet for a kid, just making sure though that she is held appropriately, like with most animals, not to hold too tight, and scare them, and then just making sure that they have the appropriate food and cleanliness on the daily and fresh water and stuff as well. Anytime that they don't finish their veggies in that day, we do take it out because we don't want spoilage or to cause illness or anything like that. Guinea pigs, although she is already 4, can live to be 5 or more years old, usually up to about 9 is kind of the max for most guinea pigs. So not a terribly long commitment. So if it is going to be kind of a first time pet for a child, not too terribly long like a dog or a cat, but also still sad that they don't live longer than that either, especially if you really love having them around. But this here is Nina. Our next guest today here is Pippi. Pippi is a hamster. Not sure Syrian or what, not too particular on which hamsters, but she's a hamster. We estimated her, she's female, at about maybe 9 months of age. We're not sure based on the home that she came from, but super cute. We have 2 other ones that I'll be showing you real quick today as well. I also have kind of some of the items that you would want to have for your hamster. Right here we have some bits of carrots and lettuce. They do like to eat some fresh vegetables about 2 to 3 times a week because you don't want to give them too much. So little bite-sized pieces of lettuce. She has some romaine here along with some bite-sized pieces of carrots. They can also have some apples and spinach. Those are usually the most common type. We also feed kind of a pelleted rodent chow that they also like as well. As you see, she just keeps eating and eating. So hamsters are really known for, as you can see, kind of that pouch that she's creating there. They'll hoard the food in their mouth so that later when they're sleeping in their little hidey holes and stuff too, they can pull them out and then actually eat them later for a snack. So kind of my spirit animal right there on that. And then we have nice appropriate little chew things. So this little ball that they're able to chew on appropriately. so that their teeth don't overgrow. And then we have a wheel for her to exercise on. They love to run, exercise, climb. They're kind of clowns in how they are in their enclosures. If you have like a wire top, they're known for climbing and kind of hanging from there. Giving them appropriate things to chew on. So even like toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls. They can also use them as tunnels to go in. Appropriate bedding too. So not doing pine shavings, as that can have very potent smell to them. If we can smell, it's probably too much. So Carefresh is a really good bedding to use for them. They're really good at digging their own little tunnels and burrowing in them. That's something very common for hamsters to do. They are a nocturnal animal as well, so they like to come out at night, and that is when they're most active. So when considering this as a pet and the placement of your enclosure is keep in mind if the wheel is kind of squeaky or they're going to be doing their chewing and their digging and it may bother you with trying to sleep, is to not place their enclosure where you're going to be trying to sleep at. Unless it's during the day, then you wouldn't have a problem. If you're a night owl too, like they are, then it's probably not an issue for you. Hamsters tend to get a really bad rap for nipping or biting, and that's why some people don't want them. But usually why that happens is because we're getting them up during the day, kind of like what I'm doing here now with Pippi, and they get startled, and so they'll kind of nip. We have not had issues with the 3 that we have here with that nipping problem at all, but we also don't try to startle them or anything either in their enclosure. And then providing them food. Hand feeding is a really good way to keep them from doing that too and be able to handle them more and get them out and kind of exercise and stuff as well. But keeping in mind kind of their general ritual too, that they're more nocturnal and having more activity at night. Because of the nipping and the startling, we do not recommend young children to have this as a first-time pet. Appropriate handling is a must for them. They also are another prey animal, and obviously we're much bigger than them, and that can get kind of scary, and so biting is a defense mechanism for them to kind of let you know that they're scared and to leave them alone. But this here is Pippi, very cute little hamster girl. And our next hamster today here is Ham Ham. So as you can see, I brought out a couple other different types of like a wheel that you can use. So this one's more plastic, not the wire, possibly less squeak to it as well for noise, but you'll still hear kind of their little pitter patters sometimes as well. And then there is kind of a log cabin kind of style too. So something else that they're able to chew on that's appropriate, but still a nice little hidey house for you. So this is Ham Ham. Ham Ham is a boy, but still came from the same home that Pippi did. Not a whole lot of known about him, but we're estimating about 9 months of age. Ham Ham is really known for in the mornings when we wake him up to get him all cleaned up to really fill those pouches and go back thinking they almost have to kind of empty the bowl that we give them of food. And then you find all the little pouches later in their enclosure, which is not uncommon for hamsters because like I said, they'll kind of just fill up those pockets in their cheeks and they'll go take them to their little hidey hole to have for a snack later. Not too interested in the carrots and the lettuce here, but is something to provide for them. And like I said, nocturnal animal, so be careful where you put that enclosure if you're trying to sleep. But cute little guys that are easily to handle, at least the ones that we have here. Oh, we're going to eat now. And it's awfully cute when they pick them up and they're chewing on them and stuff. But this is Ham Ham. Our next hamster and our last one here is Cliff. As you can see, Cliff looks definitely different than Pippi and Ham Ham. Cliff is a male as well and is also about 9 months of age is what we've considered him at. What you'll kind of notice with Cliff, if there's ever like a close-up where you see him, is that part of his one top lip is missing. That can happen sometimes with hamsters living together. They're very solitary in most cases, especially Syrians. Sometimes your dwarfs are okay, but you have to watch them closely, and males should be together and females should be together to prevent having more hamsters. So this little guy, they were all housed together before, and so some of them have signs on their bellies and stuff which are growing out and have healed of where they were nibbling on each other. And unfortunately, before the individual agreed to surrender them to us, a couple of them did pass away because that is something that can happen if you do house them together, which is why having separate cages or enclosures are very important with hamsters to kind of prevent that. So They can still be kind of housed near each other, but preventing from them to be able to have access to each other is always good. As you see here, Cliff has a little bit of another appropriate chewy. This is kind of a Timothy stick. So you see how he's kind of chewed on it and stuff. He likes that. And then he has a different type of house too. His is more of just a log style, but a little bit bigger. He likes to go right in the middle underneath there, and you'll see how he'll take that Carefresh and just kind of put it all around him. So you can't even see in on the sides. And he really seems to like his. He's very sweet, a little more skittish than probably the other ones. Check now. He actually just licked me. That was kind of funny. But very cute, a little bit different coloring hamster here. And he does kind of have that unique feature there with that lip just because of him being housed with those other hamsters. But if you're interested in getting a hamster, Pippi, Ham, and Cliff are all available. All right, our last guest here is Willis. Willis is about 1 year and 8 months is our estimate for him. He came in as a stray about mid-January or so. When he first came in, he did have what looked to be an old injury to one of his ears and was a little touchy at first. So we had him as a photo friend because he wasn't quite accepting of us be handling him. He wasn't quite feral, but just a little bit uneasy on the handling when it came to staff and volunteers. But now he is a huge cuddle bug. He's actually one of the volunteers' favorites. You can commonly see them in our cat adoption room. If they open up the cage, he comes right out, sits on their laps, and actually goes upside down like a baby, and will just cradle in between their legs with them sitting with their legs straight out, and just loves to get petted. He loves belly rubs. He's a very playful boy too. He's actually a graduate of the Photo Friend. So we've created that with those cats that have come in, like majority of the time they come in traps, or like with Willis here, he didn't come in, I don't think he came in as a trap, but just was a little bit harder to handle, not so friendly about it, very particular about when and where he would allow for you to touch him, which made it kind of difficult for that little bit of treatment that he needed when he first came in. But after some time and just kind of understanding from us and him, he's actually become what we call the graduate of a Photo Friend. So what that means is he's no longer considered foe. He's definitely a friend and a huge cuddle bug. I don't believe we've tested him with dogs yet, but he's definitely seems to be okay with being around other cats, and just a super sweet guy. Like I said, one of the volunteers' favorites. They love to go and cuddle with him. That's probably the biggest thing. So if you're looking for a big cuddle bug, then Willis is your boy. Like I said, he does play and stuff too, but he really loves to get that cuddle time in. So if you're looking for a cuddle bug, Willis is your boy.
Well, that's our show for today. I want to thank Kathy again for her service here to our community, for doing the show and showing you some beautiful animals that are available for adoption. Remember, it's just not dogs and cats at the Ames Animal Shelter. We always have some different critters available for adoption. Keep an eye on our website at amesanimalshelter.org. You can always see an update list of animals that are available for adoption, information about them, as well as if you're looking for a lost pet, that website's updated every 30 minutes. So if you're looking for a lost pet, as soon as it comes here to the shelter, within 30 minutes, you'll see that picture online. So keep an eye on that website. Also our Facebook page at Ames Animal Shelter. Thank you for watching.